Don't show it. What you looking for? Hi, hello, howdy, hello there. Hi friends, it's Shelby. I'm super excited to see you, and I'm super excited to be filming this video today. For those of you that are returning to my channel, you know two things. First, that the season started on January 22nd, and a few days before I posted a video on how I was preparing myself. You also know that on February 5th, I got the most exciting news of my entire life, that I had been accepted for the Disney College program for the fall of 2019 as an attractions cast member, and I am over the moon about it. I don't think I could be any more excited. A dream that I've had since I was 7 years old came true, and I still can't believe it. But here's the best part. I want to make your dreams come true too. So if you're a DCP hopeful that has your phone interview tomorrow, next week, you don't know yet, I really hope that this video prepares you for your phone interview so you can absolutely kill it. I just do need to say that these opinions are all mine. They're not the Walt Disney Company. I'm not a cast member yet, but I start August 19th and I'm super excited. And nobody knows how the recruitment process works other than the recruiters. They're the only people that know for sure how the recruitment process works. So I don't want to promise you anything, but I can really encourage you to follow this advice. All right. So our first category is preparation. Before anything else, before you get on the phone, before you set up your desk, for anything else, this is how you sit down and prepare. So one of the things that I can recommend to you is finding a list of potential questions. And I really recommend either doing a Quizlet or paper flashcards and writing out these answers, not just thinking about them, but writing them out. But
do not
memorize your answers. And here's why. One of the biggest things that Disney is about is personal connections and magical moments between people. So when you're reading off something from a script, it doesn't sound personal and it doesn't sound like you're really that interested because you're just trying to get lines out. Again, this isn't definitive. I'm not saying that if you read off of something, you're not going to get in. It's just a piece of advice. The other thing is the great YouTube video debate. So there is kind of a debate on whether or not you should be watching other people's YouTube videos about their phone interviews. The recruiters themselves have said that you really shouldn't watch, post, that kind of stuff, your phone interview, because it's meant to be between you and your recruiter. I do think, however, that there are some real benefits in watching other people's phone interviews. As such, one of the biggest things is you can get a sense of patterns. So when you watch a bunch of phone interviews, you'll notice that there are some questions that pretty much everybody gets asked. So if you prepare those, you'll at least have something that you can be super confident about. The other thing that I'll touch on later because it's super important is how to answer a question that you're kind of stumped on. You can gain super valuable skills, interview skills, from watching other people's interviews, things that you never would have thought of. Number 2, so scheduling your phone interview. You applied, you got that email that says, okay, next steps, we're interested. You get your WBI, your heart is racing, you go through that test, and then at the end, and you get a screen that says, congratulations, please schedule your phone interview. You know what you're not gonna do? You're not gonna pick a random time. But what you should do is be really careful about how you select your time. There's a half-hour window that they can call you within, 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after. And on top of that, phone interviews can go on for a long time. They can go on for half an hour or more. So you need to block out at least an hour where it's completely quiet. You don't want to be in an area where there's a lot of talking in the background because then that breaks the flow of your interview. And you don't want to get caught in class, at work. You just want to make sure that you're in a place where you can have complete silence. For me, I scheduled a time for when I knew that my parents would be at work and my siblings would be at school, because I actually did mine while I was visiting my family back in Pennsylvania. The other thing is schedule a time where you can give yourself a period beforehand to decompress, de-stress, all of that. But that's super important. So what I did was I made sure that I also had an hour window before where I could relax. I listened to Happily Ever After a bunch of times. I really made sure that I was relaxed. You want to make sure that you're going in with a clear mindset so you're not like,
sorry, what'd you say? I'm so sorry.
You really don't want to go in like that because it sounds unprofessional and it also puts you at a disadvantage. Number 3. So this is leading up to your phone interview. One of the biggest things that people recommend is having a little prep station. And I don't just mean having your ears on and having like your little plushies out in front of you. I actually recommend having a full prep station. I don't mean having sheets and sheets and sheets and sheets of paper printed out. I don't mean printing out your Quizlet. I just mean give yourself a few note cards, a few little pieces of paper, and here are the ones that I recommend having. Number 1, I recommend having a copy of your resume as you put it on your application with any additional skills that you think are relevant or important off to the side. The other thing that I recommend having is your ranked list of roles.
They will still interview you about low interest roles.
Sometimes people forget that, but they are still considering you for low interest roles. I actually had one low interest role, I believe, and they didn't ask me about it. She asked me about all of my high interest roles and a few of my medium interest roles, but none of my low interest roles. So the reason that I really encouraged you finding those questions and those Quizlets and watching those videos in advance is because you'll notice questions they ask that are specifically attributed to one role or another. For example,
what would you do if you were working X attraction and a guest wanted to ride the ride, but unfortunately they were too short?
So I made sure that I made flashcards for all of the really common questions for all of my roles that I was really interested in. You want to have little bulleted answers to the really important questions that they could ask you for any of the roles that you put down. That's super helpful. The other thing is I had a pad of paper so that I could write my recruiter's name, because one of the really important things, like I said before, is personal connection. So when she called, my recruiter's name was Amy, and she was super friendly. So she said,
"Hi, this is Amy from the Walt Disney Company. It's a good time." And I said, "Hi, this is Shelby. Thank you, Amy. This is the perfect time."
and at the end of the phone call,
I said, "Thank you so much for interviewing me today, Amy."
because it shows that you care and notice the little things and really pay attention to each person individually. The last category, your actual phone interview. This is it. It's happening right now. Maybe in 10 minutes. Proud of you again. Clap. You're doing this. Your phone interview. So don't be freaked out if they call within the window that's not exactly your time frame. Mine was scheduled for 1:45 p.m. on January 25th, and they called me around 1:51. So when you answer the phone, make sure you say,
"Hello, this is blank."
so they know that it's you that they immediately contacted, and you sound friendly and eager to interview. The biggest thing that I can recommend for you during this whole interview process, it is the biggest piece of advice, and it's something that seems so basic. Smile. It's so crazy how much a smile can change in your interview. So if I'm talking to you like this, obviously my voice sounds very different than the way that I talk to you like this. On top of that, again, make sure you're breathing. And one of the things that I touched on in my earlier points is how to respond to a question that you haven't really prepared. And the way that it was recommended to me to go about it is one of two ways. You can say, "Let me think about that for a second." It's very polite, and it's a very good way of saying, "I just need a second to think." The other thing that I actually used during my interview was, "That's a good question." That gives you at least a few seconds so that the cogs in the back of your brain can start going. Treat this like any interview. Treat it like this person is sitting right across from you. The other thing is to use the 4 keys. And for those of you who don't know what the 4 keys are, I'll put them right up here. Obviously not forcing them into any sentence, not saying
Like, "Oh, I was super courteous."
or,
"Oh, I love safety."
you just want to make sure that you're using it where it's natural. I know that this is kind of a long video, and thank you so much for everybody who's stuck it through, but I know that the phone interview can be really scary. You're so close to that acceptance, and it's scary, but I'm really proud of you, whoever you are, for making it this far, or for at least setting a goal for yourself. If you're still in Applied, the fact that you're doing this research about phone interviews means that you really want it. I'm super proud of you for doing that. And as someone who was rejected before from the Disney College program and got in, I can tell you it's worth the wait, and you are incredible. So, if you have any other advice, drop it down below. If you watch this video and any of these tools were really helpful and you get accepted, please let me know. That would make me so happy. And thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys next time.